The capture begins. The stars were bright in the dark sky as Jason piloted his small spaceship through the quiet sector of the galaxy. He was on a routine mission to deliver supplies to a remote colony. Nothing in his life had prepared him for what was about to happen. Jason loved space. He was curious and brave, always dreaming of adventure beyond Earth. But today, his dream would turn into a nightmare. Without warning, the ship's sensors beeped wildly. A sudden flash of light filled the cockpit. Jason's heart pounded as his ship was pulled by a powerful force. Outside, an alien ship appeared. It was huge and cold, made of dark metal that gleamed under distant stars. Jason felt a sharp chill. The alien ship was closing in fast, surrounding his small vessel. Before he could react, a strange beam locked onto his ship. His controls stopped working. The ship drifted helplessly into the alien ship's open hangar bay. Jason gripped the controls, but the engines died. The silence in the cockpit was deafening. Suddenly, the hangar doors closed behind him with a heavy thud. The ship shuddered as the alien ship powered up. Jason knew he was trapped. The hangar was dimly lit by blue lights. Tall figures moved quietly in the shadows. Jason's eyes adjusted and he saw his captors, alien bounty hunters. They were unlike anything he had ever seen. Tall, strong, with shining armor and weapons that hummed softly. The lead bounty hunter stepped forward. She was fierce and cold with eyes that seemed to see right through Jason. Her skin was pale blue and two small antennae rose from her forehead. Jason's breath caught in his throat. "You are the one we seek," she said, in a voice that was calm but dangerous. Jason tried to speak, but fear froze his tongue. He was no criminal. Why was he being hunted? The bounty hunter circled him slowly, her gaze sharp. "You carry something valuable," she said, her voice low. "Something others want." Jason shook his head, confused. He had nothing like that. Or did he? A sudden memory flashed in his mind. A small, strange device he had found on the colony. He had kept it hidden, not knowing what it was. Could that be the reason? The bounty hunter moved closer, scanning him with a device that beeped softly. "Resistance is useless," she warned. "Come quietly or face the consequences." Jason looked around. The hangar was filled with cages and strange creatures, prisoners of this alien world. Some were injured, others frightened. He wasn't alone in this nightmare. He took a deep breath, his mind racing. He had to stay calm and think fast. Running was impossible. Fighting might be suicide. The bounty hunter grabbed him by the arm. Her grip was strong, but Jason refused to show weakness. "Where is it?" she demanded. "I don't know what you mean," Jason said, trying to keep his voice steady. The alien narrowed her eyes but said nothing more. She turned and gestured to the others. Jason was pulled along, his feet dragging on the cold metal floor. As they moved through the ship, Jason saw strange technology, walls glowing with energy, corridors filled with the hum of machines. He felt like he was inside a living beast. He glanced back once. The bounty hunter's eyes met his, filled with a mixture of anger and something unreadable. In his cell, Jason sat on the hard floor trying to understand his new reality. He was a prisoner now, caught in a game far bigger than himself. Outside, the alien ship raced through space, heading into the unknown. Jason knew one thing for sure. This was just the beginning. His mind was full of questions. Why was he targeted? What did the bounty hunter want? And most importantly, how would he survive? The stars outside shone cold and distant, but Jason's spirit burned bright. He was not going to give up. Not yet. Inside the alien ship, Jason woke up slowly. His head throbbed and the cold metal floor beneath him sent chills through his body. The small cell was dark except for the faint blue glow from strange lights high above. He blinked, trying to adjust to the dim light. The air smelled strange, sharp, and metallic. He was alone, or so he thought. From behind the thin walls he heard low murmurs and soft footsteps. Somewhere nearby, other prisoners were trapped, hidden from his sight. Jason's heart pounded as he realized he was just one of many caught in this alien prison. The door hissed open suddenly. A tall figure stepped in. A guard, covered in dark armor, holding a weapon that hummed quietly. Jason froze but did not show fear. He knew showing weakness could be worse. The guard looked at him for a long moment. "You are lucky to be alive," the guard said in a harsh voice that was rough but not cruel. "The bounty hunter who caught you is unusual." The guard's words sparked questions in Jason's mind. What did he mean by unusual? And why was she hunting him so fiercely? Before Jason could reply, the guard motioned him to stand. "Come. She wants to see you." Jason's heart raced. The bounty hunter, the one who had captured him, was coming. He forced himself to stay calm, though inside he was a storm of fear and curiosity. He followed the guard down narrow, twisting corridors filled with strange symbols glowing softly on the walls. The ship felt alive, humming with power. Sometimes, the floor vibrated under his feet as the ship moved faster through space. Finally, they reached a large room with glass walls. Inside stood the bounty hunter, her sharp eyes fixed on him. But this time, she looked different. Less cold, almost thoughtful. "You survived the capture," she said simply. Jason swallowed hard. "Why me?" he asked, his voice barely a whisper. "Why are you hunting me?" She paused, her gaze darkening. "It's not just about you," she said slowly. "There's something you carry, something important." "I don't know what you mean," Jason replied, confused. She stepped closer, revealing a small device clipped to his belt, a strange gadget he had almost forgotten about. It was the device from the colony, the one he didn't understand. The bounty hunter's eyes flickered with something like respect. "This device," she said, "contains knowledge that could change the balance of power in the galaxy." Jason's mind raced. He had found the device buried in ancient ruins on the colony. He thought it was just old technology, but now it seemed to hold dangerous secrets. "Why don't you just take it?" Jason asked, trying to buy time. "It's not that simple," she said, her voice low. "There are forces far stronger than me after this device. If it falls into the wrong hands, it could destroy worlds." The bounty hunter's words made Jason feel small. He was caught in a war bigger than he ever imagined. Just then, alarms blared through the ship. Red lights flashed as loud sirens echoed. "Down the halls, what's happening?" Jason asked, panic rising. "We've been discovered," she said grimly. "Enemy ships are approaching. They want the device, and they will stop at nothing." The bounty hunter grabbed Jason's arm. "You will come with me. If we don't protect that device, everything is lost." As they hurried through the ship, Jason noticed other prisoners watching from their cells. Some looked scared, others angry. A few nodded at him, a silent promise of help or hope. The bounty hunter led him to a hidden chamber filled with weapons and advanced technology. "You'll need to fight," she said. "If we survive, we might still change the future." Jason looked at her, surprised. The cold hunter had a fire in her eyes now, a fierce determination. For the first time, he saw her not just as a captor, but as a warrior fighting for something important. The ship shook violently. Outside, the sounds of battle grew louder. The enemy was here. "Get ready," she said. "This is only the beginning." Jason took a deep breath. He was no longer just a prisoner. He was a key player in a dangerous game where trust was rare and every second counted. The bounty hunter glanced at him, her voice softer but firm. "If we fail, the galaxy falls. If we win, we survive." The blue lights flickered, casting shadows that danced like ghosts around them. Jason's mind sharpened. He knew one thing for sure. His life had changed forever. Outside the glass, stars streaked past as the alien ship prepared for war. Inside, two unlikely allies readied, themselves to face a threat that could destroy everything. And the story was far from over. Secrets unveiled. The alien ship rocked from the impact of distant explosions. Jason stood beside the bounty hunter in the hidden chamber, his heart pounding like a drum. Outside, the enemy fleet was closing in fast, but inside, a different kind of battle was about to begin. As they prepared their weapons, Jason's mind raced back to the strange device he carried. It was small but heavy with mystery. What was inside it? Why was everyone so desperate to get it? Questions haunted him, but no answers came. Yet. The bounty hunter studied Jason carefully. Her eyes were sharp, but there was something else there. Now curiosity, maybe even respect. "You have to tell me everything," she said quietly. "Why do you have this device? What do you know?" Jason swallowed hard. He wanted to trust her, but the weight of the unknown was heavy on his shoulders. "I found it on a dead planet," he said finally. "It was buried in the ruins. I thought it was just some old tech, but now, I'm not sure." She nodded slowly, then pulled out a small scanner. She scanned the device carefully, and a soft glow spread from its core. "This technology is ancient," she said in awe. "It was created by a lost civilization known for their power over space and time." Jason's eyes widened. "Power over space and time? You mean like—" "Yes," she interrupted. "This device could unlock secrets that have been hidden for thousands of years. Many would kill to control it." Suddenly, the ship's alarms screamed again. Red lights flashed wildly, shaking the room. Jason felt the ship tremble beneath his feet. "They're breaking through the shields," the bounty hunter said sharply. "We don't have much time." As she spoke, a group of alien soldiers burst into the room. They were fierce and heavily armed, their faces hidden behind helmets. A battle erupted. Jason grabbed a weapon and fought with everything he had. The bounty hunter moved like a shadow, deadly and fast. Together they made a strong team, surprising even themselves. After the fight, Jason was breathing hard. "Why are you helping me?" he asked between gasps. She looked at him with steady eyes. "Because what you carry is bigger than both of us. If it falls into the wrong hands, it will mean the end of everything we know." Jason nodded slowly. The weight of his responsibility crushed him, but it also gave him a strange strength. Later, alone in the chamber, Jason discovered a hidden message inside the device. Flickering lights formed words. "The key lies within the heart of the forgotten star." He didn't understand the meaning, but it was clear. This was no ordinary artifact. Meanwhile, the bounty hunter sat in her private quarters, looking at a holographic map of the galaxy. Points of light blinked urgently. Enemy fleets, danger zones, and somewhere, a secret place marked only as the Forgotten Star. She whispered to herself, "If we don't find it first, all hope is lost." Jason lay on the cold floor, staring at the ceiling. His thoughts were filled with questions. What was this Forgotten Star? Who were the lost civilization? And could he survive what was coming next? The alien ship shuddered again. A deep rumble shook the walls, signaling the start of a new danger. The bounty hunter returned to Jason's cell. Her voice was low but fierce. "We're not just running from enemies now. Something else is hunting us, something older and deadlier." Jason looked up, fear mixing with determination. "What is it?" She shook her head. "I don't know, but if it finds us, we're finished." The night outside was endless and cold, but inside the ship, the fight for survival and secrets had only just begun. Jason realized that his capture was no accident. He was part of a war much greater than he imagined, and to win, he would have to trust the very person who caught him. The alien bounty hunter. The escape plant. The alien ship pulsed with tension. Jason sat quietly in his cell, mind sharp despite the cold metal walls around him. The weight of the mysterious device pressed heavily on his thoughts. Every second here was a risk, but he knew he couldn't stay locked away waiting for doom. A soft noise echoed down the corridor. Steps, careful and light. Jason's heart skipped. A figure appeared outside his cell. It was an alien, but different from the bounty hunter or the soldiers he'd seen before. This alien was smaller, with bright green eyes that held both fear and hope. "I'm Nara," she whispered urgently. "A rebel. I want to help you." Jason's eyes widened. Trust was rare here, but he had no choice. "Why help me?" he asked quietly. "Because we both want the same thing," Nara said. "Freedom. And to stop those who hunt you." Nara explained how the ship was controlled by a cruel commander who wanted the device for power. She had been captured months ago trying to fight back. Now, with Jason's help, she saw a chance. "If we work together," Nara said, "we might escape. But it won't be easy. The ship is full of traps and guards. The bounty hunter, she's watching closely." Jason nodded. Every plan had risk, but staying was certain death. He remembered the bounty hunter's words about enemies closing in and strange hunters after them. "What's your plan?" Jason asked. Nara smiled faintly. "There is a weak point in the ship's security, an old maintenance tunnel. It's rarely used, but it leads outside. We'll need weapons," Jason said, "and distractions." Nara's eyes flickered, with determination. "I know where the armory is. I can get us in if you create a diversion." They spent days quietly watching guards' routines, learning when and where they could move without being caught. Jason practiced fighting with a small knife he'd hidden. Nara taught him to move silently, to listen and to trust instincts. One night, under the faint glow of the alien ship's distant stars, they made their move. Nara slipped out of her cell and crept to the armory. Jason prepared the small explosives he had found in a hidden pocket. Tension wrapped around them like a thick fog. When the alarm suddenly blared, Jason threw the explosives into the corridor. The blast rocked the ship. Guards rushed out shouting orders, while the bounty hunter appeared, sharp and deadly. Jason ran, heart-pounding, weaving through shadows, his breath loud in his ears. Nara met him near the armory door, weapon in hand. "This way," she hissed. They raced through the dark corridors toward the maintenance tunnel. Alarms blared behind them. The bounty hunter's footsteps thundered closer. "We won't make it," Jason said, panic rising. "We have to," Nara said fiercely. "The fate of the galaxy depends on it." They reached the tunnel entrance. Jason pushed the heavy door open. Cold air from outside rushed in, a breath of freedom. But the bounty hunter was already there, blocking their path, her eyes burning with fire. "You can't run," she said, voice low but strong. Jason stepped forward. "Why are you stopping us? You could join us. Fight with us." For a long moment she didn't answer. Then, slowly, her expression softened. "This mission, it's bigger than any of us," she whispered. Without warning, enemy soldiers flooded the tunnel behind. A fierce battle erupted. Jason, Nara, and the bounty hunter fought side by side, their skills and trust growing with every strike. When the last enemy fell, the bounty hunter turned to Jason. "We have to leave now," she said urgently. "There's no time for questions." Together, the three escaped into the cold void of space aboard a small shuttle hidden in the tunnel. Stars stretched endlessly before them, a new journey, filled with danger and hope. Jason looked at the bounty hunter and Nara. They were no longer enemies or prisoners. They were allies bound by a shared fight for survival, and the galaxy was watching. Chased through the stars, the stolen shuttle blasted away from the alien ship, slipping into the vast darkness of space. Jason's heart raced, adrenaline flooding his veins as the stars stretched like silver arrows past the viewport. Freedom was close, but danger was closer still. Behind them, the alien ship erupted in chaos. Sirens screamed, alarms blared, enemy fighters scrambled to intercept. The bounty hunter, now an uneasy ally, gripped the controls with fierce determination. Her eyes narrowed as she scanned the sensors. "They're right behind us," she said, "and they won't stop until that device is ours." Jason stared at the small device strapped to his belt. Its secret weighed on him heavier than ever. He was the key to a deadly race, and every second counted. Suddenly, red lights flashed on the console. Enemy ships were locking onto their position, weapons charging. "Prepare for attack," the bounty hunter ordered. Jason and Nara braced themselves as the first missiles streaked toward them. With expert skill, the bounty hunter twisted the shuttle, dodging blasts in a deadly dance among the stars. Outside, the void was alive with deadly beauty, tracers of laser fire, bright explosions lighting the black canvas of space. The shuttle shook violently as a near miss rocked the hull. "We need to lose them," Nara shouted over the roar. "But where?" The bounty hunter's lips pressed into a thin line. "There's a nearby asteroid field. It's dangerous, but it could hide." As Jason's breath caught, the asteroid field was a graveyard for many ships, sharp rocks and unpredictable currents, but it was their only hope. "Hold on," she warned. The shuttle dove toward the cluster of tumbling space rocks. Enemy ships followed close, their sensors hunting for any sign of escape. Inside the narrow field, the shuttle weaved between massive asteroids. The bounty hunter pushed the shuttle's engines to the limit, sparks flying as they scraped past jagged edges. Jason gripped the armrest, his mind racing. Every moment was a fight for survival. He could almost feel the enemy's breath on their backs. Amidst the chaos, the bounty hunter suddenly glanced at Jason. "You're stronger than I thought," she said quietly. "This device in your hands, it's more than power. It's hope." Jason met her gaze, surprised by the softness beneath her hard exterior. "Then we can't let them win," he replied. Just then, a massive explosion rocked the shuttle. An enemy ship had rammed into one of the asteroids, sending debris flying, dangerously close. Alarms blared again. "We're losing shields," Nara warned. The shuttle shook violently, systems failing one by one. Jason knew this could be the end, but the bounty hunter refused to give up. With a fierce cry, she activated a hidden booster, propelling them out of the asteroid field into open space. Behind them, enemy ships slowed, cautious of the dangerous rocks. Breathing heavily, Jason looked around. They had escaped. For now, but the danger was far from over. "What now?" he asked. The bounty hunter's eyes burned with determination. "Now we find the forgotten star." Nara nodded. "It's our only chance to unlock the device's secrets and stop those who chase us." Jason felt a surge of hope mixed with fear. The galaxy was vast, filled with unknown enemies and deadly traps, but he was no longer alone. Together they would face whatever came next. The stars outside stretched on endlessly, a silent witness to their desperate flight, and the war that was just beginning. The truth between them, the stolen shuttle drifted silently through the darkness. The distant, stars cold and distant outside the viewport. Inside, Jason sat alone, staring at the small device glowing faintly at his side. The weight of what he carried pressed on him more than ever before. The bounty hunter and Nara were silent too, their faces shadowed with worry and thought. The tension between them was thick, but something unspoken had begun to grow, a fragile trust. After hours of silence, the bounty hunter finally spoke. Her voice was quiet, but filled with a raw edge of pain. "There's something you need to know," she said, eyes locked on Jason's. He nodded slowly. "I'm listening." She told him her story, a tale of loss, duty, and choices made in the shadows of war. Born into a clan of fierce warriors, she was trained from childhood to be a hunter, but beneath her armor was a heart burdened with the cost of endless battles and the weight of orders she didn't always believe in. "I never wanted to be your enemy," she said softly, "but when I was ordered to capture you, I had no choice." Jason's eyes searched hers, seeing the truth behind her words. "Why are you helping me now?" "Because," she replied, "the enemy we face is greater than any of us. If that device falls into their hands, it will mean destruction on a scale no one can survive." Nara stepped closer, her voice steady. "We all have pasts that haunt us, but this mission gives us a chance to change everything." Jason felt a surge of determination. They were no longer just prisoner and captor. They were allies, bound by fate and a common enemy. But just as they began to trust each other, the ship shuddered violently. Alarm screamed once more. "They've found us," the bounty hunter said grimly. "And this time, it's worse than before." Through the viewport, Jason saw massive ships emerging from the shadows, ships unlike any he had ever seen, dark and twisted, radiating a cold, deadly energy. "Who are they?" Jason asked, fear creeping into his voice. "The Shadow Fleet," she said. "An ancient force that hunts for power without mercy. If they get the device, the galaxy is finished." The shuttle shook as the Shadow Fleet's weapons fired, blasts of energy lighting the darkness like deadly lightning. "We can't fight them," Nara said urgently. "We need to hide." The bounty hunter quickly plotted a course to a nearby planet, a forgotten world rumored to hold secrets of the lost civilization that created the device. "If the key lies there," the bounty hunter said, "it's our only hope." As they raced through space, Jason's mind was filled with questions about the device, the forgotten star, and the dangerous path ahead. The bounty hunter looked at him, her eyes fierce yet hopeful. "Together we might just survive." Outside, the stars were cold and silent, but inside a new alliance had been forged, one that could change the fate of the galaxy forever. Final battle and freedom, the forgotten planet loomed before them like a silent guardian. Jagged mountains pierced the pale sky, and dense forests stretched into shadows that seemed alive. Jason, the bounty hunter, and Nara prepared to land, knowing their greatest challenge awaited. Inside the shuttle, tension hung thick. The device pulsed softly at Jason's side, like a heartbeat counting down to destiny. As the shuttle touched down, alarms rang again. Enemy ships were closing fast, their dark shapes blotting out stars. "We don't have much time," the bounty hunter said, her voice sharp. "This planet holds secrets, but it's also a trap." They raced into the wild terrain, navigating ancient ruins covered in strange symbols glowing faintly in the dusk. Every step was filled with danger. Unseen eyes seemed to watch, waiting. Deep in the heart of the ruins lay the key, the forgotten star, a crystal of immense power said to unlock the device's secrets. But they were not alone. From the shadows emerged the Shadow Fleet's commander, a towering figure cloaked in dark armor, eyes glowing red with hatred. "You will never unlock the power," he growled. "The galaxy belongs to us." The final battle erupted with a fury that shook the earth and sky. Jason fought with every ounce of strength, wielding makeshift weapons and his courage. The bounty hunter was a whirlwind of deadly precision, her combat skills unmatched. Nara's rebel spirit lit fires in the darkest moments. The crystal shone brightly as the battle raged, its energy crackling in the air. Jason reached the crystal and placed the device beside it. A blinding light exploded, filling the ruins with pure energy. The Shadow Commander screamed, his dark armor cracking under the force. The power of the lost civilization surged through Jason, the bounty hunter, and Nara, binding them together. In a force stronger than any enemy, the Shadow Fleet faltered, retreating into the void as the light consumed them. Exhausted but victorious, the trio stood amid the ruins. The galaxy was safe, for now. The bounty hunter looked at Jason with a new respect. "You did not go down easy. You changed the fate of us all." Jason smiled, knowing this was only the beginning of their story. The stars outside burned brighter, promising new adventures, new battles, and new hope. And in the vast silence of space, a human, an alien bounty hunter, and a rebel stood together, united, unstoppable.